Welcome to an Oasis podcast. In our fifth episode, we welcome the man holding this W, Wyatt.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Wyatt Hold W, and I Superphase brought me on board to make some content. Specifically, with reference to like all of the Smash players that we have and
Yeah.
how they all interact with their scene. And I know there's lots of content ideas, and I've previously interviewed players and highlighted tournaments, and I hope I'll be able to do more of that here. But yeah, hi,
Yeah.
nice to meet you all.
Well, it's great to have you on. So tell us, how did you get started into gaming?
How'd I get started into gaming? Oh, I was a little kid and I went to kindergarten. It wasn't the first day, it was like in the first week. I saw people playing Game Boy and I was like, what's that? A little child at the time. I was like very intrigued by that. And I ended up getting a Game Boy and I made some friends in kindergarten who I went over to my first kindergarten friend's house and uh they had a GameCube set up, and it was like my friend and older brother and whole bunch of their like friends from school would just like assemble in this family's basement and play GameCube, and I fell right in love with it immediately, and I've been playing all sorts of different things ever since, and I even still play
Question:
GameCube games sometimes. Yeah.
Was that your introduction to Melee?
It was. Actually,
Oh,
Melee was the first
nice.
game I played on GameCube. Yeah, Melee
Of
was
course it was.
brand
Of
new at the
course.
time. Melee was brand new at the time. Yeah.
Wow. And so you've been playing Melee for a long time then.
So, yeah, but it's funny because people in Smash love to ask, "How long have you been playing Melee?" And it's such a loaded question because, yeah, I've been playing Melee since it was new, technically, but, like, I didn't know what a wave dash was until, like, I don't know,
mm,
maybe, like,
yeah.
2016? Maybe, and even then, like, I wasn't watching any of what we consider to be the real Melee, the Melee that everyone
Mm,
wants to see.
the pro Melee. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't even have to be pro Melee necessarily, just
Yeah.
developed Melee. Yeah.
Who did you main?
It's really funny because everybody when I was a little kid, everybody wanted to main Fox or Roy. Fox because it's a cool fox. It's an animal. It's neat, and it goes fast, and it has a laser gun and all sorts of colorful elemental looking attacks.
Mhm.
And Roy because he's the guy with the sword and it's there's fire. We didn't even really realize um that Roy was worse. Like, we weren't really aware at the time. We were just like kids gaming and just pressing
Mm.
buttons. And it's really funny because everyone wanted to play Fox and Roy, and at first I didn't own a GameCube. I played a lot of GameCube and a lot of games at my friends' houses. I ended up getting the other characters. So I ended up playing Falco and Marth. And it's really funny because pretty early on, I started playing a lot of Falco and a lot of Marth. And those ended up being like my two main characters throughout like my entire Smash journey. And they still are. Still a Falco main. I don't really play much Marth anymore, but like I do like the sword archetype characters. And like I always say, like, I think Project Plus Roy, and to a lesser extent, like, because which is kind of based on Melee Roy, is like one of the most fun archetypes of a character you can play in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
So I've kind of played the same dudes the whole time.
What game is Roy from?
Roy is from Fire Emblem. Roy and Marth
Oh, okay.
both. It's
Mm.
I'm Some would call me a fake Nintendo fan. I have never played a Fire Emblem game, and I've seen people play
Neither.
them, so I know what's up. I know what to expect. I don't think that genre of game is for me personally.
What's it even about? I don't even know.
It's just like it's like a fantasy
Oh, so it's
game
like
with
Final
like
Fantasy.
I don't know. I have basically haven't even played Final Fantasy actually, but
Me neither.
yeah, no, it's like a fantasy. I can't remember if it's like turn based. It's a genre of game that I don't particularly like. Is all I can
Yeah,
remember. I don't know anything about these games.
that's fair. Bro is literally drinking petrol right now. That's like a whole petrol can or something. You know those like big like cartoon petrol cans?
Yeah, yeah, gas powered, gas
Yeah,
powered.
literally.
Yeah, I hydrate a lot. I carry that
Mm.
that big old thermos everywhere I go,
Well, it's good to be hydrated.
for
But yeah.
sure.
And as of course, this podcast is sponsored by G Fuel. You need that fuel. No, no, we're not. No, okay. Um,
No?
no, we're not. That would be funny, but no,
Bro, the free
would be a good
promotion is
time. Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We do have a affiliation with one company. If you use Code
Mhm.
Oasis on Newer, it's like a lighting company. You heard of it before?
I have not. A lighting company?
Like they do like floodlights and like gaming lights. So it's good lighting for yourself.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. Interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing about good lighting. I have no idea if my stuff looks bad or good right now, but yeah, I've never been a
It looks
lighting
fine.
guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good. All natural light at the
Mm.
moment, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, what's cool if you use code Oasis you get 15% off. But yeah, I currently use the lights because I can change the colors as well, and they're really messed up right now, but normally they're pretty decent. But yeah, back to what I was saying, what's it called?
Mhm.
Yeah, I've never been into Fire Emblem either. I am interested in what's it called? Super Mario Wonder, and I know you're going to an event, named after that game. So NCS Wonder,
Yeah.
tell me about that.
Um, so NCS Wonder, as I understand it, is it's a extension of a I don't know if it's a bi-weekly tournament series, but
Hmm.
there was like I think it was I don't know if it was BCB or what, but it's been a tournament series that has been going on in Maine for a while, and I have actually never had the chance to get out to one because I live like an hour from the Portland area right now, and it's
Yeah.
kind of difficult for me to drive that far on a weekday, especially when I have to go to work the next day. But NCS Wonder is going to be like a main monthly, and
Ooh.
personally, and speaking for myself, and I know a lot of others, we get a little excited when there's a monthly we can go to that's south of Augusta, which is like yeah, like another hour up the highway from
Mm,
Portland even. So it should be pretty good. There will be a whole bunch of players there. I know Oasis will have a bunch of players present
yeah.
on the Melee and the Ultimate side, actually. It'll
Hmm.
be really interesting. I'm looking forward to meeting people there, and that'll probably be the first like proper content piece that I work on now that I'm under the Oasis banner. So
Yeah,
that'll be very
welcome.
fun. It'll be a cool experience. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I really do think your interview style content is a really good part of the team, and I think it's going to work well with the Oasis. So I look forward to seeing that video. You said your editing is very good, so yeah, if it's anything like the others, it'd be great.
It'll be better than the others. So when I
Oh
was
wow.
doing those yeah, I'm happy to explain.
Mm,
So a lot of people have seen on or a lot of people in my circle of the melee scene have seen some little YouTube videos that I had made. It's basically a bar for bar rip of Slime's man on the street interviews that he did at Genesis and a bunch of other majors. But me personally, I don't really know top
mm,
players like that, and when I go to big events, I'm usually too busy being the little guy and enjoying myself, just as a little NPC toddling around the venue. But I was like, oh wait, this is a really cool idea
yeah.
that in an area of content that I've never really experimented with. So I'm gonna try this just for funsies on and use it as a tool to meet people in the main melee scene because I was new to
Yeah.
the main scene at the time, and it was super fun. And I made a couple of goofy, fun videos, and it was like I don't know, it was enjoyable. People seemed to like it,
Mm,
and I had fun with it. I actually learned pretty quick that I don't perfectly jive with that format of
mm,
content, but it's still a tool that I can use. Like I wanted
yeah.
to make it a bigger part of the tool of I
Hmm.
was gonna do a I was gonna do a series for New England Melee, and I think I
Ooh.
still am, or not a series, but
Okay.
it's like a mini doc at this point. But I've
Yeah.
changed. I've been recording and aggregating footage for this big project, and I was going to incorporate the man on the streets into it, along with more personal, like cameras on the face. There's no interviewer
Mm,
present kind of stuff as well. Yeah, and part of the reason that I think I can combine those two very well for NCS is I can make a piece of content that's not about me going to the tournament,
yeah.
but it's about the tournament, and it highlights the players that we are sending there, or at least that's, the basis of the video idea. It's just, it's a more unified vision for the components of the video to come together, I guess, as opposed to just
Yeah, yeah.
throwing a microphone on someone and asking them awkward, funny questions.
Mm. I definitely did enjoy them though. I think my
Oh yeah,
favorite
they're
part was
fun.
what's it called? When you met the second best math player. But yeah.
The second best Marth player. Yeah, that was like the most telegraphed bit I've ever run in a content piece. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, that was comedy gold right there. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I really do love how there's so much, LAN events to go to, in the Smash scene. Because in some esports, there's barely any, or what's it
I
called? It's so
know.
restricted to the top scene, like tier one. But yeah, it's just impossible to climb up there. But
Yeah.
it's great.
Like
Yeah.
it really is. It's like my favorite part of Melee is being on the setup with another person and just
Mm,
like just riffing like in and out of the game. It's so great.
yeah, for sure. And I need to buy a New England jersey. I'm buying one next month actually. But yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're buying the ones that I think they are, they're the New England Melee jerseys are made by Jules, most likely. Shout out.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
what the
Oh,
heck is
wow.
her? All links in the description for the New England Melee jerseys. Maybe I don't know. I'll put it in the comments. At worst,
No,
I don't know.
bro is plugging on my podcast. Okay.
Oh yeah. No, gotta shout out the friend. That's the whole thing is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah.
of New England and main melees, we all lift each other up.
I
But yeah.
respect that.
Yeah. Fun fact, I don't own a singular esports jersey, but
Wow.
I own one sweater that I
Mm-hmm.
bought for anyone who's ever heard of Runaway, the team from Overwatch. I bought a pink Runaway sweater. Which is a comfy little thing, but it's like
Yeah, yeah.
it's like cotton candy pink and not a piece of fashion I can easily slot into the rest of my outfit. At least I can
Oh,
do
okay.
it, but it's like I can do it, but it's harder to pull off.
Is it got good texture?
It's pretty solid. It's not
Oh,
great.
nice.
Yeah, it
Mm.
was it's a product I literally bought from South
Yeah,
Korea
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's the team that they were based out of. So it was I don't yeah, who knows where exactly it was made.
Yeah, I've never played Overwatch, I don't think. Have you played much Overwatch?
I played a ton of Overwatch 1 and I stopped a good chunk of the way through the life cycle. And like I got pretty far. I grinded all the way up to masters,
Mm.
which is like that's like the beginning of where you start to play a
Yeah.
competent version of like the end game, like actually strategized version of the game. But you're still like you're not full. You don't. It's hard to engage with the game in like its best when it's like really competitive,
Mm.
and it's a much more casually geared video game in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. But, Overwatch 2 had made some changes I didn't really like. I didn't really like that they went down to 5 players instead of
Mm.
6, although I understand why they did it. And some of the character changes in particular,
Question.
I do not love. Yeah.
Will Overwatch ever revive itself?
Mm, not likely, no. They already
Brutal.
did Overwatch 2. They
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
pulled up the biggest trick out of the hat, and I don't think it
Mm.
was enough. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think they're ever returning to the height of glory of early Overwatch 1. Those were the good
Okay.
days. Yeah.
I love how like most like game companies are just slapping two on it and calling it a day.
That's literally it so perfectly exemplifies the problem
Yeah.
more so than the solution. I'm not sure how
Mm.
much you follow Counter-Strike, but,
Yeah,
um,
CS2.
Counter-Strike 2 is getting a lot of hate online right now,
Isn't
and
it so buggy
some
or
of it
something?
very warranted. It's not so much that it's buggy. It was buggy when it first came out. They've been hot fixing out some of the bigger problems, but it's made in a certain way, like, basically, they changed the way that the game registers and
Yep.
gives out inputs and outputs, with the tick rate, and it's causing some issues. And, like, there's some other small changes and, features and quality of life features that, like, they took a step back instead of a step forward when they went to CS2, and a lot of people are left feeling weird about that. I know some of the biggest names in the game have had some pretty outspoken moments where they kind of like are like, "Oh, this is worse than what
Mm,
we had." Like, and just not, not
yeah,
screaming and
yeah, yeah,
raging over it, but just like expressing a discontent because they're still going to play. Like it's Counter Strike. Counter Strike
yeah,
has something that Overwatch doesn't, and that it's universally easy to see what's going on immediately. You don't have to be caught up on the meta. You're looking at the screen
yeah.
and there's an AK and an M4 and there's a little dollar sign that keeps going up and down. And yeah, I mean it's so basic, and that's why it continues to work, even if it's not working as well as it should be.
Yeah. That makes sense. I feel like they're just trying to copy Valorant because they lost so many players when Valorant dropped. I would not be surprised. And another thing is what's it called? I can imagine the FPS drops you'd get in CS2 compared to CS:GO because it's such a newer game and the graphics are so much better. I can't imagine that it's going to be very optimized, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it runs significantly worse. I mean, it looks a whole lot prettier on my end.
Yeah,
I have like a pretty high end PC, but I don't have a high end monitor, so like I don't really get to experience the game on like 360 hertz. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely looks a lot prettier, and I personally
yeah, yeah.
appreciate that quite a bit.
Yeah, I was super lucky to get a 360 hertz monitor. That's actually
Hmm.
reminded me because I was on eBay and there was this guy doing an auction and he put it on there right and no one bidded it for it and he wanted 540 but I put like 250 and because I was the only bid I won the
Mm,
item and
nice.
he was like fine, what's it called, because you were the only one I'm giving it to you, but normally I wouldn't do this, but yeah, I got it for half price. Retail was
Very
540,
cool.
but yeah, it was such a steal, man.
Hmm.
But yeah, what's it called? Back to what we were saying before because I forgot to say some stuff. Shout out to Jules for taking some great pictures of our Oasis players. Amazing. Like, they're really good, aren't they? Their photos.
Yeah, I mean, she agonizes over the effort of
Mm,
her photos. I've heard her say more than once that like, while most of us are busy like enjoying and reveling in like the beauty of like big melee tournaments or even like the locals that she works, she will be, while we're enjoying ourselves, she's agonizing over making everyone look as gorgeous as possible and getting the good angles and the good shots of impactful
yeah.
moments. And yeah, yeah, like it definitely works hard for them, so no wonder it looks
Mm,
good.
yeah, definitely. Did you get
Yeah.
one? Did you get a photo?
I have several. Yeah. I
Okay. What's your
mean,
profile picture one?
that she took it.
Oh, okay. Was that Shine?
That
Correct?
was at CT GamerCon, actually.
Okay. What was
Yeah,
that?
so there are a bunch of pictures that of me at Shine as well, taken by
Mm,
Jules and many other talented people.
yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of like the color palette of this particular photo. I actually think the bigger and more zoomed in it gets, the worse it looks. It's like not the most flattering angle of me, but it's me and the homie like dressed up, looking kind of fly, playing some melee in a in a casino ballroom. It's pretty. It's I don't know. It feels iconic to me, so that's what I use.
Does look good.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Have you ever heard of CT GamerCon?
No, no, no. That
I'll
was
give you
actually
the
my next
quick.
question.
I'll give you the quick version.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of our biggest regional melee tournaments. It's hosted at the Mohegan Sun Casino, in this ballroom, and it's like a convention as well,
Really? In
like
a casino?
GamerCon.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's like a lot of like art
Mm,
vendors, and there's people in cosplay, and they do like contests and stuff.
yeah.
Some people go to gamble. Everyone's sort of like partying and having a good time. Last GamerCon was actually really interesting because Toussaint, who is like, I believe they got to top 30-ish in the world, like mid 30s, I believe, maybe low 30s. So very, very good player. They played Jigglypuff and they were super, super good. Came and won GamerCon, which is a great story. But the
Yeah.
bigger story for us in New England was New England's hidden boss, this guy Yami. His name is Ricky, and we like, real ones call
Mm,
him Ricky. But the Ricky is just came and put on a show and just decimated so many good players. Like all of New England's good players that had to play Ricky lost. And he even beat Mech. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mech, but Mech is like
No, no, no.
big character in the Smash scene, Captain Falcon player turned Ganondorf player, who, you know, has plenty of spirited and controversial moments in the Melee scene. Had a very big performance two shines ago, creating one of the most iconic moments of the year. Lost to Ricky twice, I think. Even I can't remember if it was he lost to Ricky twice, but I think Ricky knocked him out, if memory serves, and that was like a big upset. And that was a day that was an interesting day for New England because it was like people were reminded it's like, oh, not only do they have hands that we forgot about, which was really interesting. Still not quite good enough to beat Toussaint, which is like their tri-state's finest, but you know, it's an interesting event, and I'm sure it will be very interesting
Yeah.
this year when it happens in March.
Oh, it's happening again. Okay.
Hmm. Not
Yeah,
quite a
I don't
major,
know
but a
many.
tournament of some scale.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know many players in the New England scene, really.
Mhm.
Of course, I know the Oasis ones, but yeah, other than that, I don't know any of them except for maybe I've heard of Golden, and that's kind of it, really. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Golden's very good, fun
the
player.
Legend of Golden. I
Yeah.
always hear them. But yeah, I think I heard it actually first from you. But yeah, you were like, oh, Catfish took a few games from what's it
Yeah,
called, Golden. That was impressive.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny because BLR, the main local that I attend, that's Catfish created it
Yeah.
and runs it, and I've helped run it. I've run it a number of weeks when Catfish isn't there. I've run
Mm,
some really big attendance ones. We had a really big one last December for the birth. It was like my birthday, Jules's birthday, a whole bunch of homies in the main scene. Like it's like a surprising
yeah,
number
yeah.
of people have birthdays in December. So we had like a birthday bash. BLR that was big. So it's a tournament that like we always try to make about the
Yeah, yeah.
players. And Jack Golden is a New Hampshire player who comes very frequently. He's high ranked in New Hampshire and high ranked in New England. I can't remember where exactly, but I know I think he's ranked like 7 or something in New England and like 3 in New Hampshire, I think, which is a statement to how strong New Hampshire is as a state in New England. But he comes to our locals very often, and it is rare that he loses. Not that we don't have, you know, worthy opponents, but it's rare that he loses. And Catfish finally took a set off of him. Wasn't enough to eliminate
Mm,
him twice, but finally took a set off of Jack Golden's Captain Falcon, which
yeah,
is like a big moment because Catfish is a very busy man with lots of skills and lots of things that he likes to do and develop. But his melee game continues to improve, even despite the other obligations that he has to tend to. And, you know, it's kind of a big thing to get that much closer to being able to win
yeah.
your own tournament. I can only imagine that is something that feels pretty cool.
Mm, yeah. He is definitely getting a lot better because, as you can see, I've been following the power rankings for
Mm,
not like but I've been going back and having a look. Oh, what were the stats of the players back then, last year, the year before, and it's nice to see what's it called, the players climb. And you're noticing that the players are actually getting better every year, and it's like, oh, it's nice to see returning players, but yeah.
yeah, the scene keeps just gets better and better with time.
Mm.
Um, Dr. Lame, who's the number one, you know, the number one player
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Maine, was on a previous episode of this podcast. Even for anyone who hasn't watched it, check it out. Um, Dr. Lame and some other people in the main scene sort of kept it alive for some
Mm.
years where there really wasn't much going on. There weren't many players interested, and it's sort of we're trying to get it back going again. And we have a
Yeah.
nice base of players. But you know, it waxes and wanes as far as
Mm.
attendance and
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
ability
yeah.
to go to everything. But yeah, we have quite an engaged scene now. It's great.
And did you make Wyatt Fest? Is that
I
your?
did.
I
Yes,
thought
I
so. I
hosted
was
a
like,
tournament.
hold up. I know that guy. Yeah, tell me about it.
Yes, I hosted Wyatt Fest one day. Um, I can't remember exactly how it occurred, but we were doing we were gonna be doing BLR this week, and we had it was if I remember right, it was a little rare in that we actually had a bunch of people who had expressed interest ahead of time. Sometimes it's a very last minute rush to get the tournament filled up, but um and if I remember right, the venue was unavailable for some business related reasons with the owner. So I was like, that sucks. I really want to play Melee right now. I'm gonna host a tournament in my house because I have a nice lofty 2 bedroom
Yeah, yeah.
apartment um in the middle of the downtown, and I just hit up all the people that would have been going, and I was
Mm,
like, "Hey, would you guys be interested if I hosted a fest instead?" And we made a whole bracket out of it. We streamed all of it. uh, Eduporp, another Oasis signed player, and
yep.
another good homie of mine, just like Dr. Lame, put
Legend.
up a great showing against Jack Golden, had some very memorable moments. I believe
Really?
he
What was the
took a
score?
set as well. I think he took a set as well. I'd have to go back and look, but I think
Mm,
there were 2 sets of grand finals. I believe Porp won set 1 and then lost set 2. I'd have to go back and look. But I was it I've always it's kind of a meme if you ask anyone that's ever
yeah.
run a tournament with me or been involved in running main tournaments, I'm really bad at remembering numbers and stuff like that. I sort of get caught up in the moment when I'm running stuff. So I was literally sitting in this chair running the broadcast while they were playing in grand finals, and I still couldn't tell you what the score was. Although I do remember Jack Golden was indeed the winner of Wyatt Fest.
He's just dominating the scene.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
by less and less every week. By less and less every week.
Mm. How do I get this man on my team?
I don't know if he's even in the market.
uh,
It's a good question.
yeah. Does he
Yeah,
even have a
I mean,
Twitter?
yeah, I think he does. I think it's
Oh,
literally
okay.
like it's like golden underscore SSBM or something like that.
Yeah.
Not a super online guy.
Oh,
He's a
okay.
quiet dude in person and online. Kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
keeps to himself. Only says things when he has something worth saying. Kind of guy. But
Mm.
I think Jack Golden's a great guy and a great player, but I think there will come a day when he can't
Yeah.
even win, when he can't win BLR for free. That's part of the beauty of BLR is we're all trying to
Yeah.
lift ourselves up, and the competition gets better every week. It's better every week.
Mm. I do love to see what's it called, more Twitch streams of these tournaments. I've only seen one so far, and that was the I think it was the Insect versus Whirlpool
Hmm. In
match. But
alt.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I yeah, Oasis Insect Oasis has signed Insect, correct?
Yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. I've actually played against Whirlpool quite a bit in Melee and I have not seen him play in Ultimate. I don't really follow Ultimate much, but I know Main has a pretty vibrant scene there, and I
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
Insect is active in there, yeah.
Yeah, she's getting really
Tell me
good.
about this set. Tell me about
Um,
this set.
oh, I can't remember. I can't remember the score.
Oh,
I just know
see?
what's it
See?
called.
It's not so
Yeah,
easy. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
I'm about to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
See, I'm a tournament organizer myself. I know how it feels. I can
Yeah, yeah, you
can't remember
remember
anything.
moments more than you remember the score line.
Exactly. Yeah. See, I'm built
Mhm.
for making clips. Okay, not for remembering the numbers.
Yeah, yeah, you were the same. I'm the same way. You're generating the hype moment, not
Yeah,
the
exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, she's been doing really well. She's been climbing up VPR. I think she's currently fourth in main
Very
ultimate,
nice.
and that's really impressive as well because I believe ultimate has a bigger power ranking compared to melee.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gotta be
Yeah.
pretty good if she's 4th in main, she's gotta be pretty good. I know some of
Mm.
the main alt competitors. We've got some hitters. For anyone who doesn't know, like, main ultimate actually had a very big showing at Shine last year. It was, like, a big thing. I think it was, like, I I don't want to misquote, but I want to say like Turn Down for Walt or some big content creator that does ultimate stuff
Yep.
made a video chronicling the story of the main Smash Ultimate crew team that I don't know if they won crews or if they got like second or what the heck happened, but it was crazy.
Who
That's
was
all I
it?
remember. The main crew, like there's crew battles that they do at a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
tournaments, especially bigger ones, and there was a main ultimate uh team
Hmm.
main Smash Ultimate team that entered
Yeah, yeah.
Cruise and went really far. And I remember this because
Who
I
were the
was in the
players?
venue. Who was on the team?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know I'm
Okay.
pretty sure Shard was on there. I think Shard's like
Oh,
best player
nice.
in
Yeah,
main Ultimate, maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the Ultimate rankings. Don't quote me on anything
He's
there.
not
But
he's not first anymore, but he was first last PR. Well, I think
yeah, yeah.
twice.
One
But
of
yeah.
one of the big dogs. One of the big dogs. I don't know. I
Definitely.
mean, I all I know is it was a team of good main players. Like I said, I don't really follow
Yeah.
Smash Ultimate. I struggle to even follow Smash Melee as much as I want to. There's too much. There's too much melee being. Well, there's never too much melee being played, but there's so much melee being played that I can't keep track of it all.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
never such thing as too much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, yeah, there was a lot of teams that went to Shine. You went to Shine, correct?
I did.
Yeah, how was your Shine experience?
It was quite excellent.
Mm,
Better than the previous Shine, even at which, and I had a lot of fun at Shine. Uh,
yeah.
2022. Yeah, Shine 2022 was really fun. But this Shine was really incredible. I played pretty bad. I placed under seed and everything, but like losing in the tournament is not
Hmm.
what we go there for. We go there for the
Yeah, yeah.
experience, and the experience was really excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone that from New England
Mm,
that I know that's the homie was there. You know, bunch
yeah.
of top players were there. It was a great tournament, and I stayed through all of top 8 with a bunch of my friends. It was excellent. Very
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, what's it called? And that kind of goes back to Oasis as well, because things with Oasis, I don't like recruiting based on skill. I mean, there are times where I do recruit based on skill, but normally I base it on like, oh, what's it called? Are they gonna go to a lot of tournaments? And that's basically the requirement for Oasis, right? Because as long as you represent Oasis, I'm not really bothered because I just want to see some players actually just play in a tournament. And one, it looks good for the team, and two, what's it called? It's just nice to support the players in this scene, and it's just great. Like the community's great. The people are great. Yeah, so I do resonate with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's why I've signed 7 players on the melee scene already. So yeah,
Yeah, 7's a nice number, a lucky number even.
we basically have all the players in melee.
Hmm.
Well, well, jokes aside, what's it called? It is quite big compared to the We do have a monopoly right now on the what's it called? Power rankings, because you've got Doctor Lame first, right? Yeah, you've got Edgy
Mhm.
Pop second, then you've got Stacy's stepdad, who's not on Oasis, right? But then there's Catfish, who's fourth, who is on Oasis, and then you got Efu, who's on Oasis, who's fifth. So it's
Mhm.
4 Oasis members on the top 5. So what's it called? It's quite hard. I suppose it's quite hard for Stacey Stepdad to keep up. So yeah, but honestly, great player though. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's there was a lengthy period of time where Jordan or Stacy's stepdad was number 1 on the
Mm.
PR, and it took Dr. Lame a while to even get to where they are now at number 1.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
it's never free. It's never free.
Mm.
Um, sometimes Dr. Lame may be in the lead by a little by a
Yeah, yeah.
pretty statistically significant amount, but it's never free, especially EduPorp spends a lot of time out of state for
Mm.
school and is here for a much smaller portion of the season. And I think Maine would have such a interesting. I don't think it would be much different, but there would be some different. It would look a little different if everyone had a fully fleshed out data set, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's very cool.
Something interesting that's gonna be different this PR is what's it called? Eduport may take top 1 in the
It's
power
definitely
rankings.
possible, yeah.
Yeah, it's looking very likely. Um, but yeah. So what's it called? Congrats to Eduport. But
Mm.
yeah.
We'll have to see how the panel shakes out.
Mm.
I haven't looked at all the data yet myself. I don't actually know. I kinda as far as Melee goes with, like, looking at the stats and the numbers, it comes and
Yeah.
goes for me. Sometimes I'm, like, on top of it, and other times not so much.
Does this season end on the 31st?
I don't know. I don't really concern myself with rankings too much. I
Ah,
don't
okay.
remember the exact date.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean it's I'm not on the list and I get closer every week, but like
Yep.
I'm not really worried about it. Just, staying in my lane and focusing on me.
Hmm. Makes sense, man.
Mm.
I mean, what's it called? We recruited you as a content creator, and
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with the content you're creating so far. And that NCS Wonder, back to that. Are you gonna play Super Mario Bros. Wonder at the event? I'm a
That's a
big Mario
good
fan.
question. I've played a ton of Mario games over the years. I would definitely give it a try. Yeah. It's on a Saturday. Should have more time to hang out at the event, so I'm sure I will try it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, is that's like the new? It's just the newest
yeah, that's the
Mario
new
game,
one.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
I'll
the
give it a
first
whirl.
level. Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. I'll give it a whirl.
Mm.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like got a speed run for like a record or something at the first level. But
That's fun.
that'd
I
be
I
cool.
might do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I really hope Super Mario Bros. Wonder isn't just it's Bowser again. Bowser's taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. Like I'm tired of Bowser. It's getting so boring. This is why I gave up on Mario. But yeah,
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe they'll have a different villain. Who knows?
because I want to see what's it called. Do you remember the frog villain in Super Mario Bros. 2?
I have not played Super Mario Bros. 2. I do not know of the
Okay.
frog villain.
Well, basically that was the only different villain in Mario history. So,
Mm.
well, at least in the platform versions of the game. But yeah, I really hope they change it up because having Bowser and like telling the story is kind of boring, and I feel like they could go into a different direction. And then, but the problem is, I think they turned him into King K. Rool or something in Donkey Kong instead. So that might be
Oh,
a
okay.
problem because they do look very similar. So
I
hopefully
see.
not. That's not the case. But yeah, there's a theory going around that maybe the main villain will be the Frog King. But yeah, I don't know his
That would be
name.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't either. Oh,
Oh,
I seem to have disappeared.
where did he go? Yeah, I'll send it to you on
We're
Discord. Give me a
back.
second.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Where is it?
Ooh, speaking of, here's a nice little comment to hold the place. So, you know what I've just found? You're asking me if I'm going to play New Super Mario Bros. Wonder at NCS. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure I will, but as of yesterday at 4:50 p.m. or so, apparently now Melee Doubles has joined the lineup for NCS Wonder. I will certainly be entering Melee Doubles. Um,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, yeah,
Mm.
I gotta make sure I track down a teammate for that.
So doubles, right? Is that like linked to the PR as well?
No, I don't believe that we look at data for doubles for the PR. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you could technically consider it, but like, who hard to know. And yeah, okay, so I see this Frog King guy. That does actually
Yeah,
look an
yeah.
awful lot like King K. Rule, complete with like the crown and like the outfit and everything. Yeah.
They should bring him back. Like generally, right? It'd be a way more interesting villain. But yeah, you ever played Splatoon?
No, not really.
Okay. Because what's it called? I've always thought about maybe getting a Splatoon team for Team Oasis in the future.
Nice. I know they
Be
have
nice.
a very active esports scene that,
Yeah,
much
I noticed
similarly
that.
to the way that Melee clashes with
Mm.
Nintendo, I believe Splatoon had a run-in as well.
Oh, Riptide,
Um
yes. Oh my, that
Mhm,
was not good.
mhm. No, no, a big W for, at the end of the day for the Splatoon scenes, holding their ground. But
But yeah, they got
yeah,
banned. The Riptide account got banned by Nintendo, I think, on Twitch.
oh boo-hoo. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but it's just like what's it called? It's just like that Nintendo's just such a scummy company, you know? It's like,
Yep,
oh,
it's true. Yeah,
I just
they're
hate that.
slimy.
I just hate that they care so much, you know? Like it's
No
like
matter how much they care, they can't care as much as us. We'll keep playing our
mm,
games. They can't stop us from
yeah,
playing the
yeah, yeah.
games. You know, it's one thing to remove a game that's hosted online.
Yeah.
They can never take Melee from us, not Fully. They can never take I assume Splatoon has physical copies. They can never take Splatoon from us physically. It,
Yeah.
the cat's out of the bag on both of those counts. They can they can rage and punish us however they want, but people will keep playing the games.
True. Yeah, it's just so weird. What's it called? I remember I think Dr. Lane was telling me last episode that what's the creator of Smash again? Begins with an S. What's his name?
Masahiro Sakurai.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it. Sakurai. Apparently he was playing against this this kid, but he didn't realize, and he beat him on these like arcade machine on Smash,
Mhm.
and he started crying, and then it became like his villain arc, and he was like, "Oh, right, that's it. I don't want it to be competitive." But yeah,
Yeah, that would be funny if true. Yeah. I don't know, for whatever
yeah,
reason, they
imagine.
yeah, Sakurai seems a little averse to the idea of Smash being very competitive.
Mm,
Don't know what's up with that, considering how much it clearly shaped how Melee was made.
exactly. Do you think there'll be a Smash 6? Because we've got Smash 5 currently, so
I don't know. Money is green, and I'm sure they can make money on it. So
because I think
to
Sakurai
be
is leaving,
determined.
so yeah,
It would be interesting what a post Sakurai Smash would look like. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Hard to say.
yeah. Because there's a lot of posts
It's
on
not.
Reddit about it saying, "Oh, it's not
Hmm.
going to be posted."
Hmm. It would be interesting to see that happen. I don't know. I don't
Because
much imagine I'd be playing a new Smash game.
mm,
They'd have to make it a whole lot like Melee, if not better than Melee, for me to want to switch.
yeah, I mean you're still on Melee and you haven't switched to Ultimate, so yeah. I feel like Melee is I do like the mechanics of Melee. I think it's a unique game. The movement is also good, and the character playstyle is a lot different to Ultimate as well.
Yeah, I actually it's so funny. Ultimate is actually responsible for getting me back into Melee because I played Melee as a super casual player
Yeah,
for like not knowing anything about the game, not having any real competency for decades actually. For well, maybe not more than one decade because I think I was playing by the time Melee hit 20 maybe. But when I switched over to gaming in a college setting, there were a lot of people that were playing Smash Ultimate when it first came out, and I started playing some, and like I had like the very basic things down, like I knew like
yeah,
what the game was and like the general idea of what to do, like from all those years of playing before, and I slowly started playing with my friends who some of them grinded quite a bit, and I slowly got better and got good enough to beat all of my friends over time, and none of us were good, but slowly got good enough to beat all of my friends, and then one of my friends was like who I never really was able to beat consistently, I would say, was like, "Hey, I also have been playing Melee, you should try it." And I was like, "Okay." And I tried it and it was really great. And I actually found Melee a little hard at the time and kind of stuck with Ultimate for a little while longer. And then the same friend was like, "You should try P plus. It's kind of between Melee and Ultimate." And I was like, "Okay." And I tried it and it
wait,
was
P
freaking
plus.
awesome. Yeah.
I've heard of this name. What is so P plus? What kind of engine is that? Is that like full? Is
So
that
you
Ultimate?
take Super Smash Brothers Brawl, the
Yeah,
third game in the franchise. There's Super Smash Brothers. There's Super on the Nintendo 64, the original.
yeah,
There's Super Smash Brothers Melee on the GameCube. Then there was Super Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii. When Super Smash Brothers Brawl was new, I loved it. I actually had a reputation for going around to my friends' houses and beating the subspace emissary with them to get a bunch of cool characters unlocked. It was like a little mission that I made for myself every time I went to a friend's house and they had a Wii with Brawl, but they hadn't unlocked certain characters yet. Um, Brawl is a fun game. It's a cool game, but is very poorly suited to competition.
How
There were
so?
some extremely broken characters in it, Meta Knight being the number one,
Oh, I've heard of this.
and it also just has a bunch of the good competitive and fast mechanics of Melee just stripped out of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's tripping, which is literally as you're dashing around and moving, there's just a random chance your character will trip and go into an unskippable animation where you can just, like, your character falls on the ground, and you can just get hit, and it's really dumb, and they just made a bunch of bad decisions when they were making Brawl as a game, and I think a lot of them are objectively bad design decisions. And so, it turns out though, Brawl was made on a modified version of the Melee engine. And so, people figured this out and started, I don't know if they reverse engineered it per se, but they fiddled around with the game's code and restored a bunch of these Melee-like traits and created, I would say, almost a whole new game as far as the actual gameplay feels, and it has all these cool features. It has all of Brawl's content. It has more content than Brawl as well. It has a much more robust game engine is mechanically, with a lot more potential for skillful movement and outplaying and the characters interacting, and it has its own special meta, and it's more accessible than Melee in some way as far as the gameplay goes, because things like smash stick or tilt stick, where you can access up tilt by flicking your C stick up as opposed to slightly angling the left stick up and then pressing A, which is, a one button input versus a two button input. um Certain accessibility features exist in Project Plus, or Project M, as it used to be called. Project M standing for Project
Oh,
Melee.
I see. I thought they were two
Yes.
different things. Oh, okay.
In a way they are, because Project M was balanced very differently than today when it's called Project Plus, but it's the same game, essentially,
Okay.
in different cycles of its life. And
Yeah.
Project M is still being worked on, in today. Project Plus, as it's now known, is being worked on by some people in New England. I believe Motobug, who's a very, very good player and is one of the lead devs, if not the lead dev, I believe, for Project Plus. And they're designing rollback net play for Project Plus, and it's coming soon. They're getting
Yeah.
closer. They don't have a lot left to do, and it's very interesting because Project Plus is sort of the redheaded stepchild of Nintendo's brood of Melee of Smash games, not Melee games. And it hates Melee, sure, but they hate Project Plus even more because it's modded. They don't like that. They really don't like that. There's a long and detailed history of Nintendo trying to eradicate Project Plus and its scene from existence, and they will never succeed.
It's good that the community is actually trying to stop Nintendo, because at the end of the day, I think Nintendo can only stop games at a certain point. I think there's a
Mhm.
year limit, but yeah, I think it's 20 years. But yeah, so soon I don't think that will be something to worry about. But yeah, they
Maybe
don't.
so, maybe so.
Mm,
I've never heard of such a limit. They're still trying to fuck Melee over to this day, but sorry, I don't know if I
yeah,
can
yeah,
curse, but they're still trying to mess with Melee to this day, and you know, the game's old enough to drink in America. It's 21.
yeah. I was thinking more. I feel like there's like a copyright limit, because surely they're not copyrighting Melee to this day. There's no way.
They retain it somehow still.
Oh
I mean,
my, that's
they've
petty.
yeah,
That's so
I
petty.
I mean, yeah, as far as they're concerned, it's theirs. They don't know how it really is. They can stop certain pieces of content from going out and certain things from being made, but they
Yeah,
can't make us not play the game.
yeah. I think that's it for the questions now. I've
Mhm.
learnt a lot. But it's time for the three questions to ask me.
Okay. So this one's gonna be a two-part question, but it seems like you're fairly involved in Smash. What other games are you involved in right now? And what games would you like to be involved in?
Okay, that's an interesting question. We were originally in Valorant, and Apex. I would like to get back into the Apex scene. I recently just stopped doing the Apex scene. Is the problem is with it, it's so hard to find new players in that scene because you have to have so many connections. But because what's cool when I brought bandits, it was like, oh, I'm in the scene now. Phonebot and Catfish were there, so I could reach out to them and they could tell me what players were around. But because I don't have
Hmm.
like Apex players who are like in the community, right? It's so hard to get my foot in the door. Same for other games as well. Valorant, yeah, most of the time I have to rely on other players to help me find connections, which is what most teams would do. But
Hmm.
yeah, I would want to get into Valorant as well. But the thing is about that community is a lot of people have a bit of an ego there, so I'm kind of enjoying just being in the melee and ultimate community. I think for now and maybe years for now, I feel like I'm gonna stay in the Smash community. So if I had to go to a game, it would be COD, and I'd like to piss off maniacs again and make main marauders. But yeah, yeah, that's it for me.
Nice, nice. So if you weren't in Smash, you think you would probably have to bite the bullet and be in Valorant? If you had to quit like tomorrow, yeah. Do you think that's where you would go?
If I had to quit, I'm not sure if I would even be in esports. To be honest, I
There
feel
you
like
go. Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Um, so then what is your favorite game of all time? Specifically, what is your favorite multiplayer game and why?
Okay, that's interesting. That's a hard one.
Hmm. What I'm really looking
Multiplayer.
for the
Define multiplayer.
any game that you play with a friends, I wanna know because my favorite part of games is how you play it with other people. That's always my
Yeah,
favorite part
yeah,
of
yeah,
games is how you can play it with other people, and except for Elden Ring, that game rules by yourself, but it's actually even more
yeah,
fun when
yeah,
you're playing
yeah,
through it with other people as well, but ironically, I
yeah,
try to
yeah,
use it as
yeah.
an example, as a counter example, but, what makes it fun what makes your favorite multiplayer game fun to play with other people? It could even be something as what's the game you have the most fun playing with others?
Um, I'm not too sure currently because currently like it originally what's it called? It was just something like Minecraft or something like that. But I kind of feel like what's it called right now? It's kind of Smash Bros. Like don't hate me, everyone, but I really like Smash Four. Okay, and I
Mhm.
know you're all gonna crucify me right now. But here's the thing, right? Yeah, what's it called? I have your address. You can't do that to me. No, I don't. But yeah, I feel like what's it called the Smash Bros. Scene is perfect for multiplayer, and I've started to really enjoy the game. I'm no, I'm not really that good at it, but it's just a fun game you can play with anyone. I feel like it's one of those games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that what's it called? It's all my childhood characters as well. So that's
Mhm.
what I enjoy about.
Of
But
course.
yeah.
Yeah, who do you main in Smash, and what do you like about them?
I main Greninja, I've mained Mr. Game and Watch a bit, and I've also mained Marth, but yeah.
Nice. I've also spent some time as a Game& and Watch and Marth main. Game& and Watch was my main in Smash Ultimate,
Mm. I
although I've
really
also
like
played a little. Yeah.
I really like Mr. Game and Watch's like playstyle, like the different stuff you can throw at people, like the hammers, the what's it called, the number cards and stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's just the cool
The
visuals.
Judgment,
Yeah.
yeah, Game& and Watch hammer. That's
Mm.
that was funny. My origin story of playing Game& and Watch and Smash Ultimate was before Meister, who's like one of he's the best, Game& and Watch player in Ultimate. Before Meister was even, like, a winning
Yeah, yeah.
player, and before anyone knew Game& and Watch was good, I was playing, just some 4v4 free-for-all drinking game with my roommates and some friends, and I picked Game& and Watch, and I won, and I 9 hammered, like, 3 people, and I was like, "This is funny. I deserved none of that. I wanna do that again." And it turns out the rest of his moves, they're pretty cool as well.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a fun character.
Yeah. And what's it called? The reason why I picked Greninja is because I just like Greninja. I'm a
Yeah,
big
Greninja's
Pokemon fan,
sick.
so when you said Game
Yeah.
Boy at the start, right, I was like, oh yeah, because what's I had a Game Boy as well. It's a great little console, and yeah, I'm a big Pokemon fan, so yeah.
Mm,
But
yeah,
I
Pokemon
got into FPS games quite late, but yeah, I really do like the battle royale scene. So yeah, Back to the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
question and go to A
it's
base.
pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I played PUBG when that was fairly new. Not in, like, the earliest days, but I played PUBG pretty early on, and I remember it was so interesting when the scene was shifting to accommodate battle royale
Yeah.
games. It was very strange and very fun.
I d- I don't mind Fortnite. Here's a controversial opinion. I don't mind Fortnite, right? But the thing is about Fortnite is the fan base is just mostly kids, man, crying at each other. That's what I hate about Fortnite.
I mean,
I like it as a
it's a
battle
good
royale, but yeah.
game. It's a good game, it's just a good game that I happen not to really like, and I think there is also a lot of that childish culture in it, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't say that in a judgmental sort of way, there's plenty of adults and, cool people that play Fortnite and that are into it, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not my thing, and yeah.
I just don't like how petty he is, because like you could land on somewhere, right, and some pro would be like, "Oh my god, he's landed on my drop spot." That is my drop spot. You can't be
Yeah.
landing on that. I'm like, it's a battle royale. You're meant to
People get
face the
territorial in
odds.
games sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but like end of the day, what's it called? You're meant to adapt to the different changes. A battle royale is meant to be like an RNG game. It's meant to be different every time. That's the whole point.
It is meant to be different every time, yeah.
It doesn't really work competitive, but I like how it's kind of gone into competitive. But yeah.
Mm,
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I think that's the second question.
Alright, and so do I get one more question?
Yes.
Okay, so my last question, what is your end goal with, Oasis and esports and whatever it is that you consider yourself engaged in now? What's your end goal for all of it? What would be your perfect outcome?
Perfect outcome, like the final closing note of Oasis, or like, what do you mean?
No, like if everything could go exactly the way that you want it to for your plans to
Yeah,
all
yeah.
your plans and hopes and dreams to go perfectly with
Okay.
it, what would you want
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
be at the end when it's all done?
Okay. So here's some achievements I would like to hit for Oasis.
Mhm.
I would like to be on Liquipedia. I would love Team Oasis to be on Liquipedia. Um we are one player away from being on Liquipedia. We've got Dr. Lame on
Oh,
Liquipedia right now.
interesting.
So we just need one more. Um, I didn't even know Dr. Lin was on there, but I had a look and I was like, oh, nice. So if, according to Liquipedia, if we get two players, we can be on there. I think Liquipedia would make the team more notable, and it'd be good for like sponsors maybe in the future. Um,
Liquipedia is definitely the place that you go
yeah,
to look for info on prominent players. That's true.
exactly. I generally would like to expand what's it called, Team Oasis, not into other games maybe, but just into the scene more. Maybe invest in more stuff. Like, I don't know. I think a gaming house would be cool at the end of the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've always I feel like a lot of people will say it's a bit cliche, but I feel like a Oasis gaming house would be the end goal. That's one of the things that I think would be cool. And
Nice.
yeah, I feel like because what's it called? At the end of the day, I think I said this to you on DMs, but I want what is it? What did I say to you, DMs? I want IRL content for Oasis. I want that to be the
Yeah,
main
I
priority.
yeah, it's funny in a way we have a similar outlook on that. This isn't so much in the esports era of thing or neck of the woods, but
Yeah.
um I would love to be able to make content out of the 2 things that I do that I like the most. Those 2 things are skiing and rock climbing. I do a lot of both of those things,
Mm.
um,
I love rock
outdoors,
climbing.
whenever I can. Yeah, rock climbing is super sweet, and I would
Yeah.
love to be able to make content out of both of those things. I think there's a big thing that I always say, which is a strange take, but
I thought of a
I
really
actually
cool idea.
find what's that?
Oasis goes rock climbing. We could do like a video or something where the Oasis members go rock
I
climbing with you.
I literally got catfish into rock climbing. We go rock climbing
Oh,
sometime
nice.
for commonly you when things are at normal pace and we're not busy, we're going once maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Um, Myself, catfish, and a bunch of my other friends. When conditions are ideal, go rock
Yeah.
climbing like quite often. Yeah, it's very fun.
But maybe you could do a video where you get like maybe 5 members into rock climber or something. But yeah,
Yeah, we could certainly do something like that.
we could do the
Um,
title like Pro Rock Climber teaches melee players how to rock climb.
we would have to get a pro rock climber first. That would
Yeah, but
be
sure,
quite.
you're pretty good. Come on, you must be pretty good.
It's very hard and it takes a lot of time
Yeah,
to get good at it. I'm not that good. I also have a ruptured Achilles.
true.
I don't actually have a crutch to show people anymore. But yeah, I'm not even able to climb with both feet right now. I've been climbing in an air cast boot. But yeah, I would love to be able to make content, IRL content, because I think
Yeah.
interaction between people is more electric than almost anything you can do in a video game, when done right. And having said that, I think my opinion on Smash content, more so Melee content, but Smash content as a whole, is that most of it is bad. Most of it,
Yep.
the appeal doesn't come from the thing that's happening on screen. The appeal comes from the person behind the screen making good
Mm,
content while they're playing the game. That's There's lots of really good Melee players, like some of the best in the world, that don't make good content, and if they do make good content, you can look at Zane Nogmi, who is ranked 1 in Melee. Um, Zane
yeah.
makes content, but Zane's good content isn't he has a stream where he plays Melee, but I think his he has lots of skits he's done that are really funny, and I think that's more of his content than his actual maybe some would disagree. I don't really watch Zane's Melee gameplay, but it's I think Melee content is for the most part bad, and it's difficult to make good content. And even further beyond that, everyone has a different definition of what makes content good. And I think the common thread in all of that is that I said it's the people that make the content good and not the
True.
thing they're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I think I think IRL content is a good goal to strive for in a lot
yeah,
of ways. Yeah.
yeah. I yeah, I definitely agree. It's what's it called? I feel like I think melee content would be a good stepping stone to get into though, because we will be getting into combo videos.
Yeah.
Um, I believe next month. But yeah, there will be a
Cool.
catfish one, an exclusive
Nice.
Oasis. I think it's called Oasis Legends Catfish or something. But yeah,
Mm, interesting.
I found this cool guy on Fiverr who might be able to edit a nice combo montage every month. So who knows?
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. But another goal, because I do want to like emphasize a few more goals here, would be to just Team Oasis Esports. You said right?
Hmm?
You said Team Oasis Esports, correct?
Maybe at some point. I don't know. I
That's the main goal. But like we're talking
Yeah.
about Team Oasis Esports here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It could be the whole team as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Doesn't Yeah.
I would like to have some more ultimate players. I definitely want, of course, to get another Liquipedia page. We would need a new regular player. So
Mm,
yeah, so that's something we will be on the lookout for.
yeah. I
I've
mean
said before.
my yeah,
I've said before
you've
that I
said before.
wanted um 2 more players on the ultimate roster. So
Mm. Look at the big New England events and look at the people who are placing highly that don't have a sponsor. That's probably the best way.
that's true.
And then, look and see how much they play, where they play, and who they play. That's probably your
Yeah.
best bet. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think it's time to wrap up the episode. For everyone who was watching, I hope you had a great day. That was our amazing guest, Wyatt. And is there anything you want to say before you leave? And where can we find you?
You can find me on Wyatt Hole W on almost everything. I have my YouTube channel. I do a lot of stuff on. I have my Twitch channel. Both of those are Wyatt Hole W. My Twitter is Wyatt Hole W. I'm on Blue Sky. Not really doing gaming stuff, but like
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere you can find me as Wyatt Hole W. And yeah, I mean, be on the lookout for our Oasis content that we're going to be making. Some of it I'll be working on for sure. Yeah, I mean, be on the lookout. We'll have plenty of cool stuff coming your way. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Okay. that was our amazing guest Wyatt, and this was your host Superphase. We hope you have an amazing month, and we will see you in episode 6. Bye for now.